Hi, everybody. We're back with another episode of Howie's Hometown Heroes, where we showcase business owners, entrepreneurs, and community members who are doing extraordinary things in their community. Today, we're in Huntington, Long Island, in New York, and we're here with Peter Ciccone. Now, Peter tells me he's a serial entrepreneur. Now, we don't mean like Cheerios cereal. We mean like one after another after another. And that means not that he doesn't do well and try something else and try something else. No, he learns from one thing, does something a little better, a little better, a little better. He's got it right. So that's where he's coming from. A great guy, been married 27 years, one time, same person, not looking for number two. That was emphatic. So there you go. And got two great kids. And his number one rule in business is family first. I think that's a great way to look at it, because you got your family and they're all you've got. You know, no matter what happens in business, they're there for you. So that's very cool. So thanks for being here, Peter.
Thank you for asking me, Howie.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to talk a little bit about different kinds of business. So tell us what your latest extraordinary business is going to be.
Oh, it's a progression, like you say. We have several different things going on, and I try to think of myself as running the Ciccone empire. And I'm trying to build it out like that, if you will. We have the tried and true, the New York RX card, which has been so good to us for so long that we never want to see that wane. That business has changed a lot in the 10 years we've run the program. The business itself has changed. The pharmaceutical industry.
I was going to say, can you just describe a little bit about what that is?
New York RX card is New York's premier prescription discount program. It's an unfunded discount program that people can use when they go to buy a prescription and something's not covered.
Oh,
they can get a discount, and it's a discount program.
Okay.
And there are a lot of them out there. That business has changed. The pharmacy business has changed. The medical industry has changed. Yeah. And every time a politician wants to make a stink in the world, they go after the medical industry. They go after doctors, they go after pharmacies and everybody. So that's a business that is, we run the program, but we don't control the factors that help the program or hurt the program. Sure. And as a result, we were once way ahead of everybody. It's changed so much. There's a million groups out there now. So we've tried to, like all entrepreneurs, like all business people, you have to change your tact. You have to rock and roll with the time, so to speak. Sure. You have to adjust your sales.
And that's what entrepreneurs do, right? Just see what's happening, what's coming next, where we're going, and what's not working, and let's move on and make it better next time, for sure. Yeah.
And then there are other things we've tried our hands at that, one thing I invested in years ago was a decorated apparel company. A buddy of mine he had the company, he wanted to expand. And so I invested, and I've been a salesman owner of that company, which itself has changed. Mm-hmm. And he got a divorce, that changed again, which, but it's still there. It's still an income producer.
Nice.
And that led into trying our own line, which, hey, we're not Beyonce, so it didn't have the splash we wanted.
It didn't have the Ciccone name. Everybody's running the Ciccone.
If I went with
store.
Ciccone, maybe if I went with Ciccone,
I think that'd be a great idea. Yeah, you go.
They would have said, "Oh, Madonna, hey, great." But no, it didn't happen. But again, I think one of the most important things you can ever do in business is learn from mistakes, or learn from things you did. How did Billy Joel say it? Things I did not know at first, I learned by doing twice.
There you go.
Would I do it that way? I'd come up with a different tact altogether, and I would the kickoff would be completely different, and for far less money.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't try to make that big splash. I think the slow burn is always a better way to go. For me personally, versus I don't have millions of dollars just to throw at a problem and then say, it'll come around. Don't worry, we'll ride out the wave.
Yeah.
I think when you learn how to surf, you got to learn baby steps, that type of thing. And the way we started with the decorated apparel company with one small machine, and that grew to, another machine that grew to a big shop, and that grew to production. But we grew up, if you will.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think growing up
Up. That's
is
right.
is a better way to put it.
That's cool.
And then you know and our latest venture that we're doing, somebody came to me, a networker on Long Island, Dave Gusson, who runs 516 Ads, which has been a networking group forever,
Oh.
came to me with the name Entrepreneurs Across America,
There you
EAA. And what we do there, we call it a business development group. It's not so much there's great networking that goes on, because if you put you and I in the same room, we'll start talking.
That's
You're
right.
not going to have to tell, hey, maybe there's something here. Listen, blah, 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 blah. This works. And we'll start talking and we'll network. Or, you know what, Howie, I know somebody that you
That's
should
right.
talk to. Give this guy a call. Or, hey, Pete, blah, blah, blah. But it's about business. It's about knowledge. I mean, it dawned on us, how many business owners do you and I know who don't know how to read a financial statement?
Mm.
Don't know a balance sheet.
Yeah.
Don't know what their own numbers are in their own business.
Oh, yeah. Happens all the time.
Are you one sale away from being bankrupt?
Mhm.
And you may well be, and then not know it.
And not even know it.
And so what we've done with that, it's a business owners league, so to speak. It's a business owners group where we have an in-person meeting once a month, first Friday of the month, at a local diner. And we have a Zoom call the third Thursday of the month.
Oh, okay.
And we try to make it educational. Last night, last night we did a thing on sales. The process of how to go from a cold call to a hot lead to a closed deal. And last first Friday of this month, this June 3rd, we had a CFO come speak about taking the financial temperature of your company. And we had an insurance broker talk about how to properly insure your company. And what's important is you're not doing an advertisement for yourself. You're talking about what you bring. When the insurance broker spoke, he wasn't talking about, hey, listen, when you come to me, this is what we'll do for you.
Mhm.
He was talking about square footage, fair price per square foot, what you're looking to insure, what's the value of your building?
Yeah.
What does your insurance pay out if there's a problem? What are the likelihoods that this, that, or the other will happen? And how the insurance companies will rate your insurance and how they come up with the prices they come up, and what you need to understand.
Cool.
And where to save money, where you don't want to save money.
Yeah.
Then if your building's worth $2 million, but you only have it insured for $500,000, something happens, you're out of business.
You're in big trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so on and so forth.
Nice. So that's pretty cool. Kind of a peer-to-peer kind of a group that helps entrepreneurs.
We're trying to inspire. The goal is that every time you come to a meeting, you walk away with something saying, okay, I'm going to employ that.
Yeah.
And in that we have and we'll build things like a blog into there. And
okay.
And like you've been on it. One of the things we've done is the diner discussions.
Yeah. That was great
fun.
That was
two business people meet in a diner, and it's meant to be a 5-minute conversation where two business people are just talking in a diner about business, about the one person's business, and what to expect. Like this week, I had a collection attorney who he deals with, and his biggest clients are other attorneys who are very good at getting settlements. Here's the trick about that field.
Collecting. Interesting.
Well, the court has nothing to do with the collection of the fine they just assessed. So I'm the judge. Boom. Howie, you owe $2 million. You owe $2 million.
Just try to collect.
I do nothing about making sure you pay it. Now the person you owe the money to, that's on them. How you collect, you could say, hey, the judge made the assessment, let him collect it, and he won't. And so that's where this attorney, comes in, and that's his job. And a lot of attorneys know nothing about
About
that part
that,
of the
yeah,
business.
yeah.
So they call him all the time. Listen, my client's owed $2 million. He wants to collect. And what they're saying is, I want to get paid.
I want to get paid. That's right. That's right. They don't get paid either. So
So
very
and,
good. Very
and
good.
he works on a contingency fee. We had a woman on who does videotaping, and it's just the recent ones, who does videotaping, telling authentic stories, helping you get commercials out there, but affordably. One thing the internet has done for all of us, and Facebook and Zoom and
Yeah.
everything, is there's so much content out there. It's so easy and inexpensive to produce content.
Yeah.
That doing so is incredible. You can stream. I'm on another Zoom call on Monday where it's going to be streamed right to the website.
Oh, cool.
And that's technology, and that's a half an hour video right then and there. Okay, and he's doing it from his family's bar. He sits in the bar. He probably has a beer in his hand while he's doing it. And I have my cup of coffee. And if he has a beer, I'll go pour myself a glass of wine. I'll say, we're equal, So that's what we're doing. And,
nice.
and yeah, the videos, like you said, with this, they've taken on a life of their own.
Yeah.
I've rekindled old relationships. The insurance broker saw one of the videos I did and contacted me on Facebook and said, "What are you doing these days?" And we're high school buddies. And so he came down and he joined right away.
Nice.
We've had other people on there who, I had the CFO who spoke. He's one of the original rent a CFO,
the fractional CFOs.
A C-suite executive.
Yeah.
He comes in a turnaround expert.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating job. That's a fascinating skill set to have acquired. They're not everyday guys.
Yeah.
They come in and he said, if I get hired by a company, I have to make a change on day one.
Yeah.
And he talked about, he was speaking with the president of the company. They wrote up a organizational chart with different responsibilities. And one woman saw her position and said to the president of the company, "Are you planning to fire me?" And she said, he asked her, "Why would you say that?" She said, "Well, I see my responsibilities that I do, and I don't see anything listed next to it." He said, "Well, we're reevaluating everything everybody does." And this guy said, we didn't even have a conversation with her. The next day, she became immediately a better employee. Started showing up on time, started doing her job more diligently, started following up with phone calls. Her work was buttoned up completely. She had talent, but she wasn't applying herself. And she wasn't sitting there feeling, sorry for herself anymore. Now she was working to produce and keep her job.
Yeah.
And he said, "You became a better employee immediately." I said, didn't even require a conversation. She recognized herself on the chart.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, we were probably thinking about letting her go, that she wasn't given 100%, kind of that negative attitude in the office." Sure. And he said that changed immediately.
Good.
So, and you get these wild, great conversations from an event planner who plans wild parties. So I'm learning so much. And one thing that's always amazed me is what people do for a living.
For living, yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah,
and the jobs just vary and how good they are at it. Some people have such passion for things that I had such a myopic view coming out of college of what I could do for a living. That once I got onto the real world, I saw all these different jobs, but all in big companies. And now I see individuals in companies doing these fabulous jobs, owning these wonderful companies. And I'm just so fascinated by it all of the time. And for me, I always feel like I'm just maybe putting out a fire, and I'm trying to stay ahead of the fires. And actually,
I don't know. It sounds like to me. Well, I guess what I'm kind of hearing is by putting together entrepreneurs across America. I mean, you're birthing new entrepreneurs right?
Trying to.
And keeping them going, and I don't want to say like parenting them, but really mentoring people to where they need to be.
One of the things it's delved into, believe it or not, was on Long Island, a restaurant coalition, because the restaurant that we meet at, the Dix Hills Diner, came to us and said, "Hey, listen, could you do something to unite restaurants?" He said, the big chains have their lawyers. We have nobody. And so we are actually formulating a restaurant coalition of restaurant owners to stand up to some of the, to stand up to some of the burdens that are placed upon them. Like during the shutdown, McDonald's was allowed to stay open, but the diner had to shut down. How come that was?
Yeah.
Or McDonald's was, they're geared towards takeout.
Right.
But there were certain places had to close, others didn't. Why?
Yeah.
Who's an essential business, and who determines this? Who speaks for me at the table? And I joke when Congress wants to pick on a group, it seems to me they do it with the medical industry. When the state politicians want to pick on a group, they do it with the restaurant industry. And so we have to explain, we're in the process of explaining to the independently owned restaurants, you need to stand as a group. You need to unite. You need to have a lobbyist. We've already contacted the lobbyist. And so it's well underway. And now we're trying to find some sponsors, some of their distributors and their suppliers will say, I sponsor this group. I stand with them, and this is what we're looking to do.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's becoming a fascinating.
I think that's really cool how you can put all these pieces together. And just by having that entrepreneur mindset of this connects to this and this connects to this, and here's an opportunity that is being, nobody is looking at or kind of helping in.
Yeah.
And you're there. You're here putting the stuff together. That's awesome. What do you see as kind of some of the next things that are coming down the pike for you?
Well, I'm loving connecting with other business, entrepreneurial minded people and people who sell to entrepreneurs. It doesn't have to be like on Tuesday, I'm going to be sitting with a payroll services guy who does, and he specializes in business. He specializes in restaurants, I should say. But, and because they have a lot of cash, a lot of this,
tips,
hourly employees, tips. And so it's different than other payroll services, or they specialize in restaurants. And but he sells to entrepreneurs. He deals with entrepreneurs every day. That guy who owns one restaurant is a great lead for him versus, and is a quicker turnaround time. So it's entrepreneurs and their allies. And again, the independent business owner has to understand he's an entrepreneur, or even if he's running his father's restaurant, this is, you don't have, the government is looking to tax every dime you make.
That's right.
So you need to, and they're changing laws all the time. And it just seems things are nutty out there right now.
That's for sure. So they got to stay on top of it. So
I think as things get crazy in the general society, that births a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Because there'll be a contraction in the big companies. You'll have a guy, our age, who had a great job for 30 years, now suddenly without a job, thinking, okay, this just might be a time I do something for myself.
Do something like that. Yeah, exactly. And maybe has always wanted to do something.
He's always wanted to do it.
And never really felt that able to do that. And now has an opportunity.
Now he's kind of out on his own, and he's got to figure something out.
That's great. That's great.
So I'd like to be there for that.
Yeah. So Peter, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you kind of being here and sharing some of this entrepreneurs across America. And we'll put some information in the comments, near the video, and people can contact you directly.
EAAUSA.org.
There you go.
Come visit the website, EAAUSA.org.
Yeah.
And then join our Facebook page, Entrepreneurs Across America.
There you go. And follow that too. That's what we'll put all that stuff in there. That'd be great.
All right.
And so anybody out there who thinks you have knows someone who is an entrepreneur, or someone doing some community service, doing all kinds of great things in your community, put their name in the chat, contact me somewhere or another along, and we'll try to get them on the show. So just remember, whether it's your family, your business, or your organization, it's money that makes those gears turning. Make sure your money is working in the most optimal way it can. See you soon. Thanks, Peter.
Hey, Howard, thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.